sports? Do you like beer? Do you love sports and beer? Then you're exactly where you need to be. This is the Huebs, Views, and Brews show on 1252 Sports Chicago. Cheers.
How's everyone doing in this Monday night? It's baseball weather. Too bad the damn sides can't figure out what the hell to do and get baseball ready for it. But 50 degrees today. Absolutely wonderful. I'd say it's great beer drinking weather, but it's always good beer drinking weather, no matter what the weather is outside. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Don't forget, you can always hear us on it's funny, I was telling people every once in a while, you're driving around, go to Spotify, go to 1252 Sports, and you can listen to any of our podcasts. And the audio is there on Spotify. Otherwise, you can catch us on my Facebook and the 1252 Facebook page, and also on YouTube and on Twitch. I was actually watching some of the stuff on YouTube the other day. It comes through great. YouTube's awesome. You get to see me on a big screen TV, which is very scary. Thank goodness. I'm a little blurry. I'm not always in high def. I'm bobbing around here and there. But, we got a great show today. We're going to talk a lot about sports, some of the sports that are happening and some other things. Also going to talk beer, as we always do. It is Huebs, Views, and Brews. And we will talk with Steve Newman from Brother Chimp Brewing a little bit later on in the show. And because we're doing that, and I had a chance to stop by Brother Chimp on Thursday, he gave me a couple of beers, and I picked them up. And after I had a flight, and if you're following me on Facebook, you probably saw the flight I had of beers. I had, their Wee Heavy Style Ale. I had the Tropical Chimp Hazy IPA. I had the Penny American Hoppy Wheat. And I also had the Check Please, I think it was. And then my girlfriend Linda had the Vienna Lager. And then she went up and got another one. I think she got the Penny. But this is one of the two that I picked up. And I'm going to drink one now and then drink another one when Steve comes out a little bit later. I may not finish it. But this is called Winter in Bruges, and very tasty. Pouring it in a Guinness glass as the holiday's approaching. And you know which holiday I'm talking about. But this is a Belgian double, 7.1, a Belgian-style ale, amber in color, and you can definitely see it's amber in color, low bitterness aromas, dark fruit, flavor-driven, fruity blueberry esters, and caramel maltiness. And like I said, when I had this the other day, it was really, really good. Steve said, which ones would you like? I said, well, this would be perfect. And the other one, the Our Daily Bread, is a Doppelbock, and we'll drink that when Steve comes on. And but I had an interesting week, or an interesting weekend. As most of you know, my girlfriend and I were building a house out in Lockport. Beautiful Lockport, not far from Nick and Ivy. I could walk if I had to, and I'm sure there'll be times that I'll have to. So we'll see how that goes. But I help her watch the grandkids on Wednesdays and Fridays. So Thursday, we ran out to Brother Chimp, saw Steve, had a great time. Then we went to dinner afterwards to a place called Lazy Dog out in Naperville. Really good place. It's right on 59 and really upscaled bar food. And Lazy Dog also has their own beer, Lazy Dog beer. And I think I had one of those too. And that was quite good. Then Friday, had dinner at the Bavarian Lodge with my brother-in-law, Joe, and his girlfriend, Karen, and my wife's goddaughter, Katie. And Bavarian Lodge, you can't go wrong. If you like German-style food and you love German-style beer, it's very, very good, very tasty. The beers are great. Absolutely wonderful beer. I had a Hefeweiss Dunkel that Wiesbadener makes, and that was really good. And I always say the name of the brewery wrong. It is the oldest brewery in the world. When I was there in 2018, I went through a tour, and they said they were established in 1040, if I'm not mistaken. I kind of remember it because of taxes, 1040. So that was very good. And then Saturday, I'm getting my days confused. Saturday, we went and saw Spider-Man, the Spider-Man movie, the new Spider-Man movie, which I had not seen yet. And I won't give away any spoilers, because if you're a Spider-Man fan, you haven't seen it yet, you're waiting for it. The previews and the trailer for the movie did a great job getting you interested in it. But there are some other really big things that happen in the movie. It's really, really good, and enjoyed the heck out of that in a theater that had maybe 7 people in it. We had the reclining chairs, and that was very nice. Then left there, went to Goldfinger for Dark Lager Days, as they were having a couple of their dark lagers, the Czech Dark Lager, and that was very tasty. It was packed, absolutely packed. My neighbor Jason, not my Jason neighbor, my neighbor Jason. Again, I just started drinking. My neighbor Jason stopped by. I saw Eric Schmidt from Orange and Brew. I saw Matt Seneca from the Midwest Brew Review. It was fun. Also saw a guy that I don't see very often, one of my good buddies, Roy Caderna, who we've gone to Peoria and Champaign with for a lot of time for the state high school tournament. Had a great time. It was a wonderful crowd. They were doing a great job serving everybody because of so many people being there, but it was a wonderful, wonderful time. And then at night, I went home and watched the Chicago Fire open their season. A scoreless tie as they played Inter Miami. I know. I was talking about how they got all these new guys that are going to score goals. We'll get into that in a little bit. And then the Bulls, I watched them and John Morant. Man, oh man, is that kid good. And Memphis beat the Bulls that night by 6, I want to say. I think it was 116-110. And then Sunday, more Major League Soccer I was watching all day long. I was sitting here in the house and then watched the SAG Awards. SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild, and the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, which I am still a member of. Even though I retired, I'm still a member, still using their insurance. I was able to actually vote on the movies. And actually, they don't, because it's the SAG Awards, that's just actors. So it's a great show because I know the actors can be very, very, I don't know, a little bit, I don't know. They love getting awards. Let's just say that. But it was great because you got to see just actors. You don't see the film editing. You don't see the sound. You don't see the fashions or the wardrobe or any of that stuff. It's just actors. Best ensemble actors for TV. Best ensemble actors for movies and things like that. Very, very cool. And when it was over, and if you're a fan of anything, or if you have Facebook or if you have Twitter, you probably saw some of Michael Keaton's speech yesterday. He won an award for best actor in a series, and that was called Dope Sick, which is on Hulu. I had not watched that. Watched it as soon as it was over last night. Watched the first of 8 episodes. Tremendous. Talking about OxyContin and how it got started as a opioid drug, and they told everybody, all their salespeople, who then told the doctors that less than 1% of the people that take it get addicted to it. And you probably know the story. There's a hell of a lot more people than that got addicted to it. And so I just finished the first of 8 episodes, and really, really good. So if you get a chance, a little suggestions from me. If you're watching things and you finished other things, and I know 1883 ended yesterday on Paramount Plus. I got to watch that. So many great things happening because baseball's not being played. That's right. And Major League Baseball came out today, and apparently they've indicated their willingness to miss a month of games to get this thing fixed and done the way they would like it to be. That's crap. Okay. Absolute crap. A couple of the things they're debating. Okay. There's a thing called the Super 2. And in baseball, a player can get arbitration after his 3rd year. And what Major League Baseball players want to do is they want to get some of the players who are in their 2nd and 3rd year. They want to have them have the opportunity to get arbitration. That's something they're working on, something they're trying to get through. Then they've also expanded playoffs. Boy, it was so nice when you had conference winners or division winners and then just one wild card team. Even 2 I could deal with. Now they're going to go from 10 playoff teams. The owners want to go to 14 playoff teams. So there'd be 7 in each league. The top team gets a bye, while the second and third teams get to choose who they play. And that's bizarre. But if you think that's bizarre, listen what the players want. They want 12 teams in the playoffs. And it would be a best of 5 series. And the division winners would have what they call a ghost win, which means they would start the series up 1-0 in a 5-game series. They'd only have to win 2. The other teams would have to win 3 in order to advance. Absolutely crazy. A ghost win. What is this? When we were kids, we would play. We only had 6 guys, so we would play sewer to third. There was a sewer on the asphalt field at Goodwin School, and we would play the sewer to third. That's where you had to hit the ball. That's why we all became pull hitters. And you had to hit the ball. And if you went around, then there would be an invisible runner at second or invisible runner at third. Here they got a ghost win that they're going to put in the major leagues in playoffs. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. These 2 sides are beyond bizarre. How they cannot come to an agreement. The deadline was supposed to be today, that if they don't come to an agreement today, that they would likely push and can't have to cancel the opening day, which would be on March 31st. And we'll see what happens. They were still taking a break. They were going to talk again later on this evening. We'll see how that goes. I am not encouraged at all that good things can happen there. And it's weird because you would think that everybody would want to get there. But when it comes to the playoffs, the owners have basically already sold the playoff format to the television partners. So they kind of want the 14 games. That's what they have told them that they were going to do. And that's what was bid on and everything else. And that's how it went. And that's how they're getting paid for it. They don't want to have to change that. One other thing that I guess they're trying to do, Major League Baseball, from what I've understood, is trying to be allowed to change rules, like adding a pitch clock or changing the shifting rules. But instead of waiting a year or having it okayed by the Players Association, they're going to try and do something where they can get it. They have a committee and they can push it through in just 45 days. If you're confused and if your head's going, mine too. And one of the reasons people have asked me about this, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? I just want them to get things figured out and play baseball. I love baseball. That's my number one sport. It's a sport I know the best. I love arguing. I love sitting down and discussing baseball. And that's what I love doing. If you're ranking, I'm going baseball, then the NFL, then soccer, then the NBA, and then the NHL. Not that I hate hockey. It's just there's just too many players, too many teams. The original 6. I'm old enough to remember the original 6. And we'll talk a little bit more about the original 6 later on when we get Steve on. So leaving baseball, the Bulls are on right now. They're playing Miami after getting beat by Memphis the other day. They had a nice little winning streak going. And we'll see how things go with them. I love the Tristan Thompson addition. He's a guy that can come in, get some points, rebound when Vooch is out, and hopefully good things will happen. Caruso's still not ready, still doesn't feel right coming back from his injury. He's been hurt all season. And then Lonzo Ball is a guy that maybe he'll come back later in the year. We'll see how those things go. Mike had asked me, "You're going to talk basketball?" I said no. Mike was all geeked up. He sat at Nick and Ivy all day long on Saturday and watched college basketball. And this Saturday in college basketball basically goes down in history because the top 6 teams in the AP top 25 all lost. And also the 9th team lost. So 7 of the top 10 teams. There you go. There you go.
7 of the top 10 in the AP top 25 were granted a loss.
Do you know what they also did? They were all on the road in conference games.
Yes.
So I was watching, pardon the interruption today.
Weekend.
Yeah, and then they left the top 2 teams where they were. Gonzaga's number 1, and we'll see how things go. The tournament coming up in just a week or so, and we will have a lot of announcements about the NCAA tournament the first couple days, the 17th to the 18th. So stick around with us, and we'll tell you all about those as the weeks go on. Don't forget, we've got so many different shows you can watch here on 1252. The Fat Mike Show on Wednesday. You've got Mike Hughes. You've got David Schuster. You got all kinds of shows on the weekends. You got Harry on Fridays. All kinds of great shows here on 1252. And we're going to have a special couple shows coming up on Thursday and Friday, the first 2 days of the NCAA tournament. The real first 2 days, not the Tuesday and Wednesday crap games where they have people playing. Why did they have to have another one? Everything's fine. They always got to throw extra people in. Instead of 64, they got to have 66 or 68. It's just crap. Why do they do this all the time? I know why. We all know why. It's just money. Let me take another sip, actually, of this beer. Football. I mentioned football is my number 2 sport, and football's right around the corner. Combine starts in the next day or so. Everybody gets to walk in with their underwear. They get measured, and they check their hand size, and they check. My hands look so huge on this. They check their wingspan and all that stuff, and then they get to run the sprints, and they get to do drills and all that stuff. So that's going on. Franchise tag in 8 days, free agency in 16 days, and the draft coming up in 59 days. So there will be a lot of talk, and we'll see what Ryan Poles can do along with his assistant GM. They're going to be down. They only have like 5 draft picks because they don't have as many as they would hope to have for their first year in control. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot of news going on with Kyler Murray and what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. I don't care what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. I don't care about Kyler Murray. Absolutely don't. I want to see what the Bears do and what the 49ers do. That's this little thing right here is 49er. Here we go. 49er Super Bowl tickets. I thought a couple years ago it would be no good any longer. I thought they would have beaten the Ravens. Or no, first the Ravens, then the Chiefs. And neither of them happened. So the 5 Super Bowls still goes for the Niners. One other thing in football, the Colts are putting in a proposal to the team that didn't make the playoffs. They're trying to put a proposal together for each team to get the ball at least once in overtime. Now, we discussed this here on Huebs, Views, and Brews, and on all the shows here on 1252 and everywhere. TV, radio, everybody talked about overtime because in the Buffalo game, there you go, shaking your head. The Colts didn't get in, but when my standing was, it is fair because there are 2 sides of the ball, and all you have to do is play defense. All you have to do is not let the other team score a touchdown, and you get the ball. I like the rule. I do not mind the rule at all. And then we saw the week afterwards when Kansas City again won the coin toss and was stopped. And because of that, they ended up losing their game. So the Colts are putting it in, trying to see if it floats. It's going to have to get 24 of 32 votes, 24 or more of 32 votes in order to pass and become a rule in the NFL. And I'm sure there are a lot of fans out there who would love to see it, as long as we never, ever, ever see the college overtime rules. I didn't even know, because I don't watch college football. I didn't even know they changed where you got to score. You get 2 points. You go back and forth, 2 points here, 2 points there. It's like ridiculous. And you see how long some of those games go. They're talking about baseball being long. College football with all these overtimes, ridiculous. And yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But so that's NFL stuff. Really quickly, I'm going to go back to soccer for a second. And if my brother Timmy's watching, I know he's not happy. But the Chicago Fire open up their home schedule this weekend as they take on Orlando City, I think it is. They had a scoreless tie, 0-0 draw, as they like to say, down at Inter Miami the other day. They do have some people that can score. They played well. They had opportunities in the first half, kind of tired a little bit in the second half. It is game 1 of a 34-game schedule. And they play this coming Saturday. They're expecting to have possibly 30,000 at Soldier Field. And I know people say 30, it holds 62. I understand that. I don't know why they moved. I liked when they played at Toyota Park, then SeatGeek Stadium and everything else. But they decided to change it. And Yeah, Mark from Aurora says game 1 0-0 draw. Yawn. No, it's not yawn. It was a lot of good action in the game, and the goalkeeper for the Chicago Fire, Slonina, 17-year-old kid, and he played well, made a couple of key saves in the game. But give it a chance. Tyler Terrence and Tony Miola do the announcing on Channel 9 WGN, and so catch it. I think they play at 6 o'clock this coming Saturday, 5 or 6 o'clock on Saturday. Their home opener, and they should have a fun season this year, trying to get into the playoffs, trying to make a move up. And there are so many teams in Major League Soccer now. They've continued to build, and that's a problem I had. They continued to grow as an organization and the league. They kept adding people, and Mike just put it up on the screen. If not this Saturday, then other Saturdays, go on over to Nick and Ivy and sit and watch the game, or any of them. And a lot of the breweries that have TVs, go and watch the Chicago Fire game. If they'll turn it on, if there's not college football that people are interested in. I know Nick and Ivy's got so many TVs, they can throw it on one. And if I'm there, I'll make sure Paul turns it on. And we'll try and put it together a couple times this year when the Fire are playing on a Saturday night, where I'll head on out there. You can come on out, and we'll sit and talk and have some beers and watch the Chicago Fire play some soccer. So we hit the Bulls, we hit the Chicago Fire, we hit baseball, we hit all the other stuff I did. Again, Dope Sick's really good. I've liked Michael Keaton as an actor for the longest time. He was in a movie. I always forget the name of it. He was in a movie years ago with Henry Winkler. And they worked at a morgue. And it was boring. And they ended up running basically a prostitution ring out of their morgue. And they had all these girls set up and everything else. And you can imagine some of the problems they got into. But Michael Keaton was great. He was an idea guy.
The movie you're thinking of is Night Shift.
That's it. And it was great because he'd walk around with a little recorder. He goes, I'm an idea guy. And he kept turning the mic on. He goes, we'll do this. And they would laugh at him. But it's a really good movie. So I've liked him ever since. And he was not a bad Batman. He was actually a pretty good Batman. Surprised the heck out of us.
1982, Michael Keaton and Henry Winkler in the movie Night Shift.
82. Man, oh man. Where were you in 82?
I was still swimming.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, you look at it, and it was a great flick. If you get a chance, I don't know how it holds up nowadays, but it was funny. Henry Winkler was great. Michael Keaton was wonderful. And he's done some really good stuff over the last several years. His speech at the SAG-AFTRA Awards yesterday, apparently he lost a nephew to drug addiction, a drug overdose. And Dope Sick is all about not only the pharmacy business and the pharmacy that decided to put OxyContin out there and say that only 1%, less than 1% of the people got hooked on this medication. But I guess he lost that, and he also lost a sister, I want to say. So it was very interesting last night. Like I said, I don't think it was an advertisement. He didn't want people to go watch just because of his speech, but it made me. And I went out and watched the very first episode. We're going to play some spots here because we got a lot of great sponsors here at 1252. We're getting some more. Mike is working his tail off, grabbing sponsors here and there. We do have a couple things coming up, as I mentioned. We come back. I got a little bit of beer talk, and then we're going to talk to Steve Newman from Brother Chimp Brewing. But let me drink this while we hear from our sponsors here on 1252.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Darren, licensed real estate broker with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group in Homer Glen. Are you looking to buy or sell? Have you been disappointed in the past? The Jonathan Darren team with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group focuses on providing you with a concierge level of service during the process of buying or selling. We are a service-oriented team with a fresh and professional approach to selling real estate. Our goal is to combine knowledge, skills, and passion to exceed our clients' expectations, and most of all, we truly care. We are a knowledgeable real estate team focused on offering expertise and innovative solutions for our clients. The Jonathan Darren team has 5 full-service real estate brokers and a dedicated full-time marketer servicing all of Chicagoland. We will customize a detailed plan around your timeline for a sale, purchase, investment, estate, or other needs. Real estate transactions can be stressful, but don't need to be. Let us handle it for you. Visit our website, homesbyjdt.com, or call 708-308-1938 today. Expect better in real estate. Choose the Jonathan Darren team.
Hello, this is Paul from Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. We are located at 1026 South State Street in historic downtown Lockport, Illinois. We are very excited to be partnering up with the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show as well as the 1252 brand because we are one of the few Chicagoland breweries that embrace sports and sports culture. Come in for a fresh brewed beer made right here in Lockport while catching the game of your favorite team. Stay for the live music that we have booked every weekend. Or just come for a cozy atmosphere to enjoy a good conversation with a friend, loved one, or complete stranger. Nick and Ivy makes you feel right at home no matter what the occasion is. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching for Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. Visit our website for our up-to-date tap list or to go shopping on our online store at nickiveybrewing.com. That's Nikivy brewing.com. Come in today for a fresh brewed beer born and raised in Lockport, Illinois.
Megaplex Sports Complex is a 78,000 square foot center filled with hardwood and turf. They have baseball rentals with batting cages, softball, soccer, lacrosse, gymnastics, cheerleading, cornhole, basketball, volleyball, and pickleball. It also features a bar and grill with the best pizza and beef sandwiches around. They cater to events such as birthdays, graduations, corporate parties, as well as memorabilia shows. Check them out at Megaplex Sports Complex, 15301 South Bell Road in Homer Glen, 708-966-4210. The Game On Bar and Grill looking great. Cannot wait to get out there and not only have a few beverages, but also try some of their food. It's going to be all kinds of fun. A couple of beer things before I bring in Steve Newman from Brother Chimp Brewing. I mentioned I was at Goldfinger Brewing. They've got a cask tapping coming up on Tuesday, March 1st, and I think it starts at 5:30. And they're tapping their original lager. So he's going to have one, I think, on a monthly basis. And they do some great lagers. I'm eager to get out there. Hopefully I can get out there on Tuesday and see how that goes. Also, Buckle Down. I'm telling you, Ike Orcutt and the guys over at Buckle Down, they're cranking them out. They've got beers, not like Hop Butcher. They don't put out 2 beers each and every week, but Buckle Down does a great job. They got Destination Haze, a hazy IPA with Citra, Sabro, and Eldorado hops coming out. It drops this weekend. And that should be great. Also, they've got a bunch of things coming up in the month of March. If you see them or if you follow them, they have all of their information on what's going on. They are going to have the Nitro Good Times that they put together with Irish Times, the collaboration beer they did coming up on March 11th and 12th. Because with St. Patrick's Day falling in the middle of the week, I think they're doing their St. Patrick's Day party the weekend before. And I have not tasted that. I love Irish Times. Great place. I have a hard time walking in there and not having a Guinness. I have a Guinness bathroom down here. All the signs I just took down. With our new house, I took all these Guinness signs down. I told Linda, I said, listen, we build this new place in Lockport. Can't we have like the Guinness bathroom on the, as the guest bathroom on the first floor? She said the basement would be a better idea for that. I guess it probably would be more wall space actually, because the second bathroom has the shower and all the other stuff, where the basement, when we build the basement bathroom, probably have more wall space. So I guess she's right. The Guinness bathroom would probably look better in the basement. So that's the information on Buckle Down and on Goldfinger. And let's bring in Steve Newman, the owner of Brother Chimp Brewing. Steve, how you doing tonight?
Great. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. I had not had a chance to get out to your place. I did have one of your collaborations when in the box of chocolates. I had one of that, and that was wonderful. I had such a great time when my girlfriend Linda and I went out there last Thursday. Great little place. And I wanted to ask you, first of all, and you and I talked about a lot of this stuff, but you had some great stories. Brother Chimp, I mean, some of these other places, Skeleton Key and, all the other names, Goldfinger, I understood that. But Brother Chimp, where's that come from?
So, as I mentioned, I've had a fantasy baseball team, so a big fan as well for over 30 years now. I mean, we started when you were faxing the stats back and forth each week.
Yep.
And the name of my team was the Chimp Monks. So I thought, Chimps no beer. I mean, monks no beer. Chimps are fun. Put them both together. The Chimp Monk Brewing would be great, but it sounded a little too much like Chip Monk. And so people were getting confused. So I thought, well, a brother is like a monk. So if we just make it Brother Chimp, then we can still tie that all together and have a fun place.
And there's some great pictures when you go into Brother Chimp, but the cans are great because the chimp looks awesome and the logo is wonderful. But you've got a picture of basically a monk with a chimp head in there, and it makes sense when you explain it.
Yeah. Actually, come on. It's right behind me. See if I can.
There you go. Yeah. That's a great place.
Oh,
knocking down your beers.
Yeah. There goes the beer. I can't. Anyway, you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
It would have been
and it
pick up a sticker.
Yeah, and it's you know what? And it's a where you're located at. I've talked a lot to different breweries because when breweries first started popping up everywhere, I would ask them, why are you they would explain to me why they're in industrial parks and stuff like that. You're in a little strip mall. Right on Orchard, right before Randall and Aurora. How did you decide to be where you're at?
Well, part of it was I didn't want to be too far from home. This is second career, wanted a short commute. So that kind of limited it. And then I kind of wanted to make more beer that appeals more to the masses. So we kind of say, you do craft beer that tastes like beer. So I wanted to be accessible to the general public, and I didn't think people might not travel as hard to find me hidden back in a warehouse situation. So I wanted that easy accessibility. And kind of thought I found that on Orchard Road, just off of Randall. So we get good traffic, and I thought it would make sense.
Yeah, and it does. It's a great location. I mean, we found it right away. Obviously your GPSs now tell you everywhere, but you got a nice sign that says brewery out there and then Brother Chimp, and it brings people in. And when you first started, you had one space. I know you've added on, but you first starting is actually a really interesting story because you had everything set. You were all ready to go, and then things happened.
Yeah, this is actually the first day since the day we opened that there has been no mask requirement at all. So I finally get to see what my bartender looks like.
Sure.
I had planned to do a soft open for St. Patty's Day, and then everything came down about being closed. So I thought, well, I'm just going to go ahead and open a day early because I had all the licenses and see what happens. So I just had a couple of friends in that first night, and we didn't wind up getting to sell our first full pint of beer until Memorial Day weekend when they let us go outside. But we kind of managed to survive those first 2.5 months selling beer to go.
Now, I ask a lot of people, and they all pretty much have the same answer, why you decided to get into this. I know that you haven't always, this wasn't, well, maybe it was your dream, but you had something else you did before this. How did you decide to become a brewer?
Well, I got lucky. I got to retire a little bit early, but I knew I wanted to do something else. And I had never actually had good home brew until after I retired, and the neighbor brought it over to me. Unfortunately, my first home brew was back in the late 80s because of my age when it first came out, and people didn't always know what to do with it then.
Sure.
But after having that great home brew, and I had just retired, I'm like, well, you have to show me how to do this. And I just started brewing, found I had a knack for it. People really liked the beer. Entered a homebrew competition, got a medal for that, and then entered the competition with Skeleton Key and got into their incubator program and decided, I'm going to do something that I like to do. And so far, it's been an interesting first 2 years, but we are coming up on our 2-year anniversary, and it was an interesting time to start.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Let me pour this one. This is our daily bread Doppelbock. Why don't you tell me a little bit about this one?
So this is it's a very traditional beer. You don't see too many of them made anymore. We did it, big, small pace, mostly Munich malt, a little bit of Pilsner in there, and some Cathara for the where it gets the darkness. But really took our time with it, an extra long boil on it, and then spent 8 weeks in our lagering tanks. We do things traditional too. I know, Goldfinger is all about all their lagering tanks and they lager everything. So we do a mix of English ales and some Belgians. You have the Double to start with.
Right.
We do have our lagering tanks that we use to try and get those traditional beers done the right way.
Well, it's amazing too because this one's wonderful, and it's funny because it's called Our Daily Bread, and it does have a nice flavor to it. There's a huge description. And when I got there, I looked for the beer, and you guys had written descriptions of them, which is great because when you walk into Brother Chimp, all the beers are on screens up there. But if you ask, they're nice enough to give you a description of them all, which is great. And this is so wonderful. And I tried this one. And the Doppelbock, people get so confused because they hear about Bock beers and Doppelbock. I think the first time I heard of Bock, it was the big brewery down in Texas. I can't remember their name now, but they would always make a Bock beer, and I would try that. But this is a wonderful beer. I know I had it when I was there, and it's funny when I say ODB. I know my buddy Mike, he would probably think old dirty bastard, but that's the rap guy in him, right? That's exact. I knew it. I knew exactly what you would be thinking.
I got in a little trouble with one of my bartenders who's a big Bengals fan when I made it ODB, and he's like, "Well, wait a minute, you just lost the Super Bowl, and ODB was, a big part of that. How could you name a beer that?" I said, "You don't have to call it ODB."
Yeah, no, and it's a great beer. And it's one of a lot that you guys have. I'm looking here. You had, when we were there Thursday, you had 12 of your own beers, and then you had a couple of guest ciders and things like that. You mentioned the Skeleton Key Incubator Program, and I've had Paul and Emily on a couple times. The second time I had Emily and Vicky Reed on because of what happened on Father's Day with the tornado and everything else. What exactly is the incubator program, and how did you get involved with that, and how did you end up coming out of it?
So basically what it was is they do a homebrew competition, and if your beer wins one of the categories, they down select people to be in this incubator program. They're looking for people that are serious about wanting to start their own brewery, and basically you get to work with them over a few month period doing all the different aspects of it. So from learning to brew on the big system, cleaning all the equipment, kegging the beer, and then working behind the bar, and a lot of assistance as well with the business plan, making sure you're kind of being realistic about what you think, and you get your eyes open and you quickly learn the best way to make a small fortune with a brewery is to start with the big one. But it was a lot of fun. I don't think I could have done it without their help.
Well, and I mentioned earlier on, when you opened, you had a certain space. You've been able to get the space next door. You have a nice, huge space there. Were you planning on that when you first opened, or did it just something that came through when you said this is a perfect time to do it?
It's something that fortunately came through. I mean, the one thing I realized it was hard to tell what it really was because the pandemic, we didn't have anybody have a beer inside until February of 2021 after opening in March of 2020. But it quickly became apparent, and maybe it was magnified by the lack of crowds during COVID, that the tap room just wasn't going to be big enough. And I was fortunate to get some outside space during COVID from my landlord in the village to expand, and then fortunately the space next door was available, because I'm not sure now that the outdoor space had gone away how I would have done it. Now I am going to be able to put a permanent beer garden in the back, so I'm looking forward to that, hopefully sometime in April. But having the other rooms were a game changer. Just we have trivia night now, we do open mic night, we do karaoke, and then every Friday and Saturday night we're going to have live music in there. So it's been great. Big screen TV for all the Bears games. So really fortunate, not necessarily part of the original business plan. But I've always said sometimes I'd rather be lucky than good.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Being lucky is a good thing. when I first walked in, when Linda and I first walked in, we really were taken by the way all the wood that was in the bar and the way the bar was made and some of the wood. Where did all that come from? Because it looked awesome. It was almost like we were walking out of, we're walking into a strip mall, but we're walking into a place that looked like we were in the middle of Wisconsin.
Yeah. So we're lucky to have an old house and a pretty large old property. I love my old trees. And once I was ready to get started, because the brewery was planned for a few years, I had to take down one of the old spruce trees. It was an 80-foot spruce. And fortunately, the tree guy who helped me with it, when I told him I wanted to repurpose the wood, he had it cut into 8-foot sections for me, helped me haul it down to the mill and everything. So all the live edge that you see in the brewery, for the bar and that work, all came from the spruce tree from my backyard. So, which is nice because at least I still get to see it every day.
Sure, and it looks absolutely amazing. It looks so cool. And then we walked into the other room, and like you said, you built up a little stage because you do have the live music. You got the big screen TV. I know there were people there the other day. How is the hardest part when you're running this, other than making the beer? Which, I know that you were a brewer, and I know other things come up. So I know you've actually brought another brewer in, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So other than that, I was talking to you the other day, and I would think the toughest part is getting people to come in the first time.
Yeah, I think it is. And I think that's what we're seeing now because, as we've gone on now and things are opening up a little bit more, had a lot of new people in the end of last year, and I'm seeing them now every week this year. So once they come in, they get the feel for the space. We've tried to make it very warm and welcoming. Fortunate to have a wonderful staff that really does treat everybody the right way, and a brewer who makes, beer every bit as good and, don't tell him, but maybe a little better than me. And it's certainly making a more diverse portfolio of beers than I think I would have been able to do. I was the brewer the first 6 months, and people did like the beer, and many of those beers are still made by him. So it's fun. But yeah, it is. It's getting people to come back, and thankfully, I found a great taproom manager and Jessica, who also does all my social media for me, where I'd be completely lost. I'm not of that age.
No, I understand. It's amazing. What was the first beer that you made that you decided, you know what, I can actually make beer. This actually tastes good. And it's easy when you make something, you give it to friends, and they may all say, yeah, that tastes fine. But what was the first beer that you made that you said, this works, maybe I could do this?
So we have a beer called Smile, it's an English brown ale with a little bit of coffee and vanilla to it. And that's the first kind of recipe I played around with my own as a home brewer. And I was like, boy, I really like this. And it is still one of our most popular beers. It's actually at the end of the incubator program for Skeleton Key, you get to brew one of your recipes.
Okay.
And it's the recipe I brewed. So the very first beer I made on a commercial level. And it's just been really popular. Yeah, it probably is the one that made me think, oh, maybe I should think about doing this. Maybe it's something that could happen.
As a beer drinker, do you have a favorite style? I mean, I know people ask me all the time, and it's really difficult to say.
For me, it really depends on the day. I love all beers, but there'll be, that hot summer day, I want a nice Crushville light Pilsner to drink. On a winter's night, that winter in Brews will warm you right up, as will our wee heavy Sersha. And the ODD, I've really been enjoying that a lot lately, the Doppelbock. So they all have their time and place. And, how do you pick your favorite child, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm drinking the Doppelbock, and it's funny because a lot of times you drink, with all the beers that are coming out and all the beers I'm drinking IPAs, or I'm drinking something else that's really heavy. Now, the Doppelbock is 7.3, but it doesn't taste like that. It just tastes like, it's just wonderful. There's no big alcohol aftertaste. There's no big, it sticks with you, but in a good way. And that's amazing. That's the part that I think people have to get to. And I know that you probably have the problem when people come in and maybe they were Miller drinkers or Bud Light drinkers and stuff like that, and they want to try something. But this is a beer where even if you were a drinker like this isn't going to bite you. It's not going to, you're not going to turn you off because it's a wonderful flavor to it.
Yeah, no, and that's one of the things I like, and I think that Sam does a great job of, and hopefully I did as well when I was the brewer, is that all our beers have a nice, clean finish to them. But it is funny because I did start to think about that as I was getting ready to open. The last new recipe I came up with is actually Homer, which is our American Pills. And it is not Homer for Homer Simpson or for the Iliad. It is Homer for home run because I am that big baseball fan.
Sure.
And it just tried to do a nice light American Pills, so that would be a great introduction to people.
Now, I mentioned earlier before you came on that I'm old enough to remember watching hockey with the original six. And when I was there with you guys, the other day on Thursday, you had the guy in there that was hanging pictures, which are, when you go to Brother Chimp, go into when you get there, if you want to leave the bar, you can, but go into the bigger second room and you'll see some wonderful pictures of nature. The pictures of Yellowstone, pictures of buffalo, but you're also coming up with a sign that's got your original six. And what are your original six?
So now you're going to test me on this, but I'm not going to go cheap and peak. But yeah, I had the idea with our second anniversary coming up. When we first started, all we had were the 6 packs, not the 12. So
right.
I like to go back and think about the original 6. And obviously, Smile was one of those original 6. Sigfee, which is our dry Irish stout, which obviously we have ready for St. Patty's Day coming up.
Sure.
Along with, we will be brewing actually on Wednesday, the Well Red Monk, which is our Irish red ale. In addition to that, we had Brigadoon, which is our ESB we were talking earlier that Eric had on at Origin Brew recently that kind of went by quick. Then we had Kima, which is one of our blonde ales. And then, we come up with the last one. Oh, how can I forget? For the Masses, because For the Masses is my West Coast IPA. And when I first was going to start this, I went around saying I wasn't going to do IPAs because everybody was doing IPAs.
Sure.
And enough brewers talked to me and said, do you want to make any money at your brewery? You have to have an IPA. So I said, okay, then I'm going to do an old school West Coast IPA like I like, and I am going to call it For the Masses because I made this one for the masses.
There you go. I cannot wait. The signs that I saw before they go up, they look great. I cannot wait to get out there. When is your second anniversary?
So it is March 16th of this year. So if people are available, we're actually going to have a live band. It's a Wednesday night, but it's the Monday before St. Patty's Day, so you should be taking that day off anyway.
Yeah.
So come on out. We're going to have live music. We're going to have the Argonaut for some great seafood that night. And we're going to be doing different things throughout that week. We'll start getting it out on social media just to make it a fun week. And, after opening on March 16th of 2020, we never got a grand opening. We never got a first anniversary. So I think this will be the first ever grand for second anniversary party.
That'll be wonderful. Absolutely. Before I let you go, I asked you this when I was there on Thursday, and my girlfriend Linda has a dog named Penny, and I had asked you where you get the names for your beer, and you said a lot of them are from dogs.
Yes, and actually even Homer is from my very first Ridgeback, whose name was Homer, and he too was named for home run, not for anything else. But yeah, and Penny was named after Jessica. Had a wonderful doodle named Penny that passed away last year, so I gave her the chance to brew a beer after Penny. And that's where
that's great. Yeah, and I had to have a Penny because Linda was with me, and the American Hoppy Wheat was awesome. Very, very good. All the beers I had were great. Like I said, the one from the box of chocolates was wonderful. These two, the Winter in Brews, and also the Our Daily Bread, really, really good. I know I didn't finish one of them, but I'm going to finish both of them as we go on for the course of the night. There's no doubt about it. Have a great anniversary. I know I'll be out there this weekend. I'm going to the Kane County Flea Market. You guys are just a couple miles south of the Kane County Fairgrounds. Perfect place to stop on out there. I know you'll be in Cabo. Enjoy vacation before you get to your first real celebration of an anniversary. So I appreciate you coming on. I'm glad I was able to come out there. I can't wait to come out again. Thanks for coming on with me tonight.
Thanks so much for having me, Fred. Have a great night.
Thanks, Steve. Have a good one. There's no doubt I'm having a good night. I'm going to finish this one. The And Mike, you would like this one too. You're not a very adventurous guy because you got the Fat Mike Lager. Your fridge is filled with the Fat Mike Lager.
It is. The Fat Mike Lager is a great lager. I like that beer, but I like lagers. I like beer that tastes like beer. That's one of my main things. I know you keep on telling me there's a lot of breweries out there that has beer that have beer that tastes like beer, and you're right. I do have to be a little bit more adventurous.
Well, and that's what he had mentioned too, what Stephen mentioned too, because a lot of his beer is beer that tastes like beer. And he's got a Czech Pilsner, and he's got a lager, a couple Pilsners actually, and a hoppy wheat. They're all taste like beer, but this Doppelbock is good. 7.3, we'd have to call an Uber. I mean,
Yeah, that's a good one. 4 or 5 of them, you're ready to go home. You're ready to take a nap, right?
Yeah. Very, very tasty. So I'm going to drink these. And we come back, I'm going to have a What's Up Fred's can. But we got a few more sponsors we're going to hit before that as I drink here on Huebs, Views, and Brews.
Hey, Susie, thanks for hooking me up with the Fat Mike markdown on my insurance rates at State Farm. This is awesome.
No, Mike. The Fat Mike markdown is not a real thing.
I don't believe that for a second. Let me repay you the favor and tell you and all my friends about the Fat Mike markdown.
Okay, well, that's just fine, considering that State Farm just gives everyone surprisingly great rates.
You heard it here first, folks. So give Susie Sheehan over at State Farm Agency a call and ask for the Fat Mike markdown. It's the best.
For the real deal, give us a call at 815-306-0184 or go to SusieSheehan.com to request a quote. My team at the Susie Sheehan Agency is here to help with all of your insurance needs for auto, home, and life, and we service Illinois and Indiana. Also, if you mention the Fat Mike markdown, $10 will be donated to a local charitable organization through our Quotes for Good program in your name. Remember, that's 815-306-0184 or SusieSheehan.com. Thanks so much.
Get on it, everybody.
Woo-hoo.
Real estate is hot right now, and you need an attorney to handle all of this. My guy, Mark Berardi, does this all day long. He's a straight shooter. There's no fancy language. He's just to the point. And he and his team get the deal done. There's no BS. He also does estate planning, trusts, wills, and power of attorney. He has great reviews up and down the board from a ton of happy clients. For him and his big team, they're all just down to earth and normal people as much as he is. You will not be disappointed you went with him. He's located in Homer Glen and New Lenox and handles real estate all over Illinois. There's no place too far, so give him a call today at 708-942-8030. Again, that's 708-942-8030, or look him up online at Mark Berardi and Associates.
So during the commercial, besides looking at my phone, I just been drinking beer. So I actually do have a quick What's Up Fred's can. Let's see if we can.
Well, maybe it's just because you're ugly.
Ugly? You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, come on!
Time for What's Up Fred's Can on 1252 Sports Chicago.
There's two things, actually. One of them, I was watching that, I came up with another one, but I'll get to that in a second. The first one is Major League Baseball. What the F are you doing? And I'm going to be politically correct. I'm not going to swear today. What are you doing? Baseball is struggling with bringing in people to watch. I'll be 65 in May. I just figured out my Medicare earlier today. Yep, that's me, Medicare. So I love baseball. I'm going to watch baseball. I love the game. Mike is 33, 34, whatever, and he loves baseball. He would love to watch it. We want to see spring training. My sister is going to Arizona the third week of March. She would like to see spring training games. What the hell is wrong with you guys? Get this. You had all these months to figure this out, and you bring it down to the last minute. You're complete idiots. You don't understand that how much the fans love the game of baseball. on a nightly basis. Think about the people that turned up at Wrigley Field or Guaranteed Rate Field. Almost said U.S. Cellular. I can say that now because I don't work at ESPN anymore. We had to make sure we said Guaranteed Rate Field because ESPN 1000, the flagship home of the White Sox, which I'll listen to, Len Casper. I'm still going to try and get Jason Benetti on the station, believe it or not, before the season starts. But it's unbelievable. We love baseball. We want to see baseball played, and we're really pissed off that you guys aren't in spring training already. And you don't want to do that to the fans. Fans always say, I'm never coming back. I'm not watching. Bull. You're going to come back. You're going to watch. You love the game. Once the game's played, you're going to watch. It's just we're aggravated and so tired of people not being able to figure things out. And it would be so nice if they worked it out. It would be wonderful. My other, what's up, Fred's Can? Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? I had a segment one time. Jay Hood used to laugh at me. I had a segment. It's all set. Wouldn't it be nice? So people could call. Hey, call with whatever you think. Wouldn't it be nice if? Boom, 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 boom. People would call. And it worked a few times I ran it back in the day when I was doing shows by myself on the Score. But wouldn't it be nice if Waddle and Sylvie or Cap and Jay Hood, it'd be tough for Cap and Jay Hood. They do a morning show. But Waddle and Sylvie from 2 to 6. Wouldn't it be nice if they're drinking a bottle of Prisoner? We get to hear them. And wouldn't it be nice if they allowed swearing on terrestrial radio? That's what they call it, over-the-air radio. That would be wonderful. Yes, I see Mike shaking his head because that's the toughest part for us. For Mike, not so much. Mike doesn't hold back. But for me, it is because for 35 or whatever many years, I've been trained you cannot swear. And I know people say, well, you can swear. You're on a podcast. And it's funny. I only swear on a podcast for the most part when I'm a guest. When I'm a guest with Schuster or someone else, I swear like crazy. But when I'm doing my own show, I don't swear. And it's not a conscious thing. I'm very rarely conscious when I'm doing these things. But anyway, that's just another thing. Next week, listen, we've already got guys scheduled. Okay. Next week, we have Heather from First Forest Brewing. She's going to be on. First Forest Brewing took over where Blue Nose Brewing was in Hodgkins, and Heather will be talking to me. First Forest closed. They're still making beer. They were at the Westmont Winter Beer Fest. We will talk about what they're doing and how they plan on going forward. Then in 2 weeks, we hope to have Mario Spina from 93 Octane. I'm going to head out there on right before the show, a couple days before the show, grab some of their beers. I've been out to 93 Octane before. They make great beer. They're cranking out great beer at a gas station. That's what it is. 93 Octane, there's a gas station, the Pride stores in St. Charles. There's a gas station, a store, a liquor store, and a brewery. And I will head out there on the Thursday before I have them on. It'll be wonderful. Cannot wait to have them on. And good to see you. Yes, sweet loving. Definitely enjoying my freedom. There's no doubt. And they do drink on outside broadcasts. Yeah, I'm sure Waddle does. There's no doubt about it. I heard it, Tommy Waddle. He's drinking. There's no doubt. He does call people Richards. And I love Tommy Waddle. I'm so aggravated he didn't have a Super Bowl party this year, but he wanted to make sure he could go to Florida. And I saw him on a boat with John Fox. We'll have to talk about that. One of these days, we'll get Waddle on the show. Because the show starts at 7, it's tough because I'm not sure if they're home by now, but I will get Waddle. Sylvia will come on. I'll get Carmen on. We'll talk drinking. He'll talk bourbon. I'll talk beer. We'll get all these people on. I'm sure they'll come on. Cannot wait as we go further on Huebs, Views, and Brews. Don't forget, lots of shows coming up this week. Fat Mike's got his show on Wednesday. We've got other shows throughout the course of the week. And 1252, go to 1252 Sports. If you go to YouTube, you go to 1252, all the shows will come up. And you'll be able to check out any ones you might have not heard of or ones you may have missed. So check them all out. Until then, I'm going to finish my beers from Brother Chimp. You get a chance, head on out to Brother Chimp. They got their anniversary coming up on the 16th, their 2-year anniversary. First time they're able to celebrate Hell, they couldn't even celebrate the opening day because of COVID. Now, no masks, nothing. Awesome. Cannot wait. I'm drinking Our Daily Bread. I also have more of the Winter and Brews to drink. I didn't finish that whole can. So it's going to be a wonderful night for me. The Bulls are still losing. See what happens. Don't forget, I'll be back next week. We'll talk with First Forest Brewing. And until then, enjoy your beverages. Stay safe. Don't forget, Fat Mike on Wednesday, right here on 1252 Sports.
Thank you for listening to 1252 Sports Chicago.